Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra, and with me I have somebody very special joining right in. Mr. Rajiv Sheth joins in, and he's the founder of All Good Sense. So thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on Business Today TV. We will delve into the world of perfumes and fragrances to understand the business of what we can smell. But for sure, I want to start off by understanding India at 75 years of independence, the next 25 years. That's what our focus is right now. India at 100 years. How have things changed over the course of last few years in your sector? What do the next 25 years have in offering for the perfumes and the fragrances sector?
Look, Sakshi, India has a history of probably 5,000 years old. And we have attars and perfumery has not modernized since then. Unfortunately, the fine perfumery is something that we are going to look forward for the next 25 years, which is going to be an explosion, I believe. We have been large players as far as ingredients are concerned, raw materials are concerned, molecules for perfumery use. We have been suppliers of the world. And of course, we are into more of the industrial and cosmetic applications.
Yeah.
So you have the agarbattis, you have the soaps, you have detergents and deodorants, talcum powder. But fine perfumery is still pretty nascent.
Yes.
And I believe, and that's where I come in, is with the fine perfumery expertise, experience, and wanting to build brands in India which are fine perfumery and brand building, marketing, So I think the next 25 years are going to be crucial, important. World is looking at us, and I think we have to change.
Absolutely, you're right. You're hitting the nail on the head because that's what we want to understand. So far, in the world of perfumes, we've always looked at the West to provide us with the most fine, most coveted, most luxurious perfumes that exist. India so far has not been able to produce any perfumes which are coveted by the world. Do you see that happening over the course of next 25 years? Which are the brands that could actually elevate themselves to be on that global pedestal?
Look, I think branding, marketing, and budgets are very important. India obviously has more economic requirements. And at some point, I think there was also, the sector was not given as importance, I would believe. So going forward, I think people need to stop corporates, large corporates consider fragrance as one line extension of the business. They have the distribution and they just want to fill up the shelves, and they're making perfumes. And they're not making it for an aspirational category. They're not making it for the young youth to dream about and be. So I think corporates need to look at it as more fragrance houses. We need fragrance houses who would be dedicated to actually going back, looking at our rich heritage and culture, creating fragrances with a history coming from India and taking it outside. I mean, when you go to duty free, you should be seeing some Indian brands there.
Absolutely.
So I think there's a lot of launches, events, and that will not happen overnight. I think there has to be a focus coming out of, deodorants, which is a utility product, and making conscious efforts that let's establish, modern attars if you want. Earlier we used to have, and the usage was very, so youth today don't want to use attars.
Yeah.
And, they want fancy eau de toilettes, eau de cologne, they want newer celebrities to endorse them. So I think it's not just an individual company. I think as an industry, people have to get together, make conscious effort and say, let's grow this. And I think it's going to be a gain for India.
Right.
As a brand itself, it needs to elevate itself.
Right. So what will the role of technology be for brands and for advertising going forward from here if we want to elevate our own indigenous brands to that level? And what kind of brands and marketing and advertising will need to take place?
Technology, there is already the science for, new molecules. There are companies who are actually making newer aromatic chemicals. You have different technology, which is getting better for distillation of your raw ingredients. If I have to say for ingredients, sandalwood, we have lost sandalwood from India, and Australia is actually distilling it much more. Same with oud from Assam. So I think we need to bring that in. The government needs more conscious efforts to bring our ingredients, give them more protection, let them grow. We need budgets from corporates to try and come and elevate it and make an India story, as I just mentioned. And I think down the lane, we should at least have a couple of players deciding to go into this space.
Right. So, how big is the current market in India, the perfume fragrances market in India, and where do you see it growing?
So as I mentioned, it's the fine perfumery, the one which I'm talking about is not, it may be around $500 million business currently, not the other sector, but I think it is growing almost at a space of 30% per annum. So the growth is there, and we need distribution. We don't have the distribution. If you see accessible luxury, either we have the FMCG products,
Yeah.
or we have the hyper luxury products, right?
True.
We don't have anything in
in
India, and what India needs is in between. It needs accessible luxury, and I would be really happy if we have distributors and distribution companies making space for these products to make way.
Absolutely. So right now, the current market is largely captured by the metros, if I'm not mistaken. And what about the tier 2, tier 3? Is there a wide scope of expansion right there?
Absolutely, there is a wide scope. Products today are unbranded. People love perfumes even in the towns, smaller towns, villages. They all love it. The only thing difference is the accessibility and the price.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of unbranded products available, homemade products available. But with internet coming in, they are getting more and more aware of the newer brands. So today, what yesterday would be really unknown brand, probably they will graduate to a deodorant which is of a known brand. So I think we have tier 1 definitely is currently the larger user and consumers of these fragrances, but tier 2 and tier 3 are not behind.
Right, absolutely. Also, help me understand a little bit about the affordability factor of the luxury fragrances and perfumes that you've been talking about. Some of it in the West is absolutely unaffordable for large part of Indians. So, for a large volume display, will the prices need to come down, or how will things progress on the affordability factor?
Right. So I think that's a constant battle that is. Faced, I face that on a daily basis, is how to balance it, right?
Yeah.
Also, there is a mindset that, the foreign brands are somehow more prestigious than the Indian ones.
Yes.
I think pandemic has changed that.
Okay.
A lot of people are now wanting to try out homegrown brands, which is a very positive thing. And price sensitivity is there. But again, I think if you try and differentiate a fragrance which is an aspirational product versus a deodorant which is utility, of course it is going to cost a little bit more, right? You're not going to try and give them everything in that price point.
Right.
Consumers are also considering grooming as an important ritual today.
Yes.
They also want to excel, they want to grow. So I think while having the price, I would say, as an accessible luxury, I think we can get there. More and more consumers are accepting it. Maybe you have smaller sizes for smaller prices. But give them the right product.
Right.
So I think we need to move towards fine fragrances more and more. Even if you're not finding the volume now, I think we're going to find it in time.
Right. So talk to me about your brand. Your brand is a vegan, cruelty-free brand. Right. The acceptance for that could be much higher. What are you really doing to create brand awareness?
So look, when I came to India, I moved from France to create a fragrance brand. And, I never had an idea of what India is going to be like. And to avoid spending too much on distribution, I went online. So probably now we have the words like homegrown and D2C, but we started off with that. And so I've been building All Good Scents and the accessible luxury perfumes, fine perfumes, since day one. Being online, we also found ways of sampling it, for people to test it and then buy it. And our aim is for people to use them on daily basis.
Okay.
A consumer should use good quality fragrances on a daily basis, and that's what we have been trying to do. Our fragrances I create, but they are blended in France. We import them and bottle it here. And our we have got good feedback coming from a lot of consumers who write back to us. So I think it's the acceptance level of people. When they smell the fragrance, they can see the difference. It is very much the same fragrance houses that create fragrances for international brands are supplying to us. So there is not much of a difference. We are going direct to the consumers. We are cutting the cost wherever required. We are obviously doing digital marketing. We don't have lavish budgets to do ads, but I think with that, we have seen the growth, especially after pandemic. I think people also realize they have a nose, right? Everybody realizes there's a nose and we can smell. So we've had a good experience so far, and hoping more people to join on.
Right. Also, could you help us understand what are the growing trends that you see globally in the world of fragrances and in India, and how different are the two?
One, where we are talking about affordable luxury,
Yeah.
also there's a trend of going ultra exclusive,
Okay.
because globally perfumery became mass market. It democratized, everybody was having access to
Sure.
it. So now you're going to niche perfumery,
Yes.
you're going to experiences, you're going into bespoke tailor-made fragrances.
Yes.
So there's one section which is going very exclusive and very high priced,
Correct.
and the other is going experimental. They want to experimental, they want to bring back gender fluidity. So I think we are getting polarized on both the sides. So I think overall the creativity is increasing. And when I founded All Good Sense, very soon I realized that education is going to be important for people, especially here,
Yeah.
to understand. They can say, okay, it's great fragrance, but what do you do after that? How do you use them? What is the story behind it?
Yes. Yes.
So I do represent a French institute called 5e Sens, Paris. It's an institute which has over 40 years of experience, and they do workshops for corporates and enthusiasts. So I represent them. We do some fun-based creative workshops, make your own fragrances, a perfumer's palette, for events and stuff. So, it's a way of trying to educate them on the fragrance, the nose, what are the notes, how do you use them, which fragrances you should use,
Right.
which work on your skin, which don't work. So many of these things we try and do with our workshops, marketing, digital marketing.
So what all are your products right now? If you could also explain the target audience that you cater to, the price factor that again is in your brands as well.
Right. So everybody loves fragrances. So
Yes.
we love everyone using our fragrances, but we do target, between 20 to 40 years.
Okay.
We have eau de toilettes, eau de parfums.
Okay.
If you have a 100 ml product, the average price is around 1,000 rupees. We do very, very recently, we have launched a fun 10 fragrance set called Pairing.
Okay.
And we are urging people and users to use fragrances, create a new fragrance every day. They can mix and pair fragrances directly on the body.
Okay.
And it's quite cool, and it's targeted, for people under 35.
Yeah.
And have fun, use it according to your mood. You don't have to worry. If you like a scent, it's gender fluid. Any fragrance could be bought. So yeah, we do. So we have fragrances, we have scented candles. We're planning to go into line extensions of different products.
Okay.
And continue with our training programs.
Okay. So would you also be looking at having your offline presence apart from the e-commerce?
Yes, that is a requirement which needs to happen. And we plan to do that sometime soon.
Any fundraise plans, IPO plans going forward?
Well, look forward to it. We've not yet, we just started giving it a thought. I think with the season and we see how things are going, maybe it's time for us to consider that.
Okay, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sakshi.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.